Okay, this tutorial is about creating your own fixture definition. What's often happens in club setups or community theater setups that you might have fixtures that are not quite top of the line, and it's hard finding a fixture definition for them in the QLC list. But what you can do is you can create your own fixture definition and then save that and then work with QLC that way. So we're going to show you how to do that. First of all, one point I would like to make, though, that's very, very important for you to understand. The fixtures that come predefined with QLC, they will be in a certain directory. So if I open Explorer here, I'm on my C drive, root drive, and you'll see QLC plus there. It's installed there. And if I go down one level, you'll see that underneath QLC Plus I have fixtures. If I double click on that, go down another level, you can see that here are all the different fixtures that have been predefined that come with the program. So they are there. Now, when you're creating your own fixtures, they will be stored in a different location. Also, if you're picking up a fixture definition from someone who's done it for you, you need to install that in a different location. Do not put it in this location because it won't read it, it won't pick it up. So let me go back up 2 levels here. Actually, we'll go to disk C. When you create a fixture definition, it's going to store it in your user level. So I'm sorry, Apple people, but I'm working on a PC here. I'm sure it's kind of similar on the Apple. So I'm going to go to Users, and then I'm going to go to my username. Then underneath that, you will see QLC Plus. Underneath that, you will say Fixtures. And that's the file area where you'll find all the user-defined fixtures. Getting a fixture from someone and you want to add it to your setup, you're going to want to drop it into this location or it won't see it. Also, if you're transferring your show from, say, your desktop computer to your laptop, you're going to run it, don't forget to grab all of these fixtures and move them over to your laptop and put them in this area, or else it won't pick them up. Okay, now creating a fixture, this would work out the best if you can possibly find a manual for the fixture that you're working with. So in this tutorial, I'm going to create a fixture just using a manual that I've found. I'm going to do a second video where I discuss trying to come up with a fixture definition for a fixture that you don't have a manual for and you're trying to figure things out. But let's say, for instance, that I have a Blizzard lighting LB hex light that I have, and this is, I downloaded the manual, it's in PDF form. Now, when you downloaded QLC Plus and installed it, if you check your program listings there, you should find a little program called Fixture Definitions Creator. And that's right here. And you click on it, want to start that up. So it's Fixture Definition Editor. And this will open up kind of a blank window like this. So I'm just going to click on New. And then it asks me for a bunch of information here. So I'm going to say Manufacturer, Blizzard. And then I'm going to say LB Hex. This can be anything that you want it to be. You're just kind of storing all this information so then you look back and it makes sense to what light this is, etc., etc. And what type of fixture is it? Is it a dimmer? Is it a color changing light? So in this case, this is an LED wash light, so we're going to call it a color changer. And author, I'm going to just say that's Richards. So that's just a little bit of general information. Now I'll click on the physical tab and you're asked some more information. It's not necessary to fill this in. However, it is kind of helpful. Also, if you check back at the QLC website, they're always looking for fixture definitions. So if you notice that the particular light that you're working with is not listed in the program itself, you could do one of these fixture definition editors and save it and then send it to Massimo, and then they'll include it in the next release after they've looked through it. Again, a word of caution here, make sure that you're using the most current version of QLC Plus. because they have done updates, and the way that they store the fixture definition information has changed as they've done different versions of the program. So my recommendation, just make sure you have the most current version of the program when you're doing this so that everything is up to date with it. All right, so it's asking me some information here, physical. Again, this page here, you don't necessarily have to fill it in, only if you want to. If you're going to send this to Massimo so he can use it in the next update, then certainly you want to try to fill in all this information. Usually you can find a lot of this information toward the end of the manual for a light. So if we take a look like this page here, tech specs. So type of bulb, we're saying this is going to be an LED bulb. Lumens, if we look it up, it varies here. I'm just going to put that when all the lights are on and it's at a 1 meter distance, it's 8,000 lumens. So I'll just put that down. Most of the time people are looking at things, they know that it varies as far as distance and how many LEDs you have on. Color temperature we're not going to deal with because this is not a just a white light. It's it's an LED. Red, green, blue, amber, white, and ultraviolet. I believe this particular fixture. Type of head, it's a fixed head, it's not moving, so there's no pan or tilt degrees, there's no layout here. So if you're doing a type of head that has multiple, light fixture that has multiple heads, you can set that up too, so this can get kind of complex. We're not going to deal with that. Power consumption, wattage, let's see what it says here. It's 106 watts is what it normally consumes, so we'll put in 106. 106 watts. DMX connector, you can look at the pictures and find out. I believe that this particular light is a 3-pin connector. So again, you can choose 3-pin, 5-pin, 3 or 5, whatever it is. Again, you're just helping out other people. When they look at this fixture, they'll know what it is. Lens, we'll just say like it's not a Fresnel, we'll just say PC. And if we check here, it's a 25 degree beam, so we'll put down 25 degree. That gives them some kind of idea to the spread that this light does when it shines. Weights, and they make it very convenient here. The weight is 2.3 kilograms, so put 2.3. Width is 284 millimeters. Height is 269, we'll round it to 270 millimeters. And depth is 115.6, we'll round it to 116 millimeters. All right, so again, this is just helpful to somebody else. If definitely you're sending a definition to Massimo, make sure you fill in this information. Now we get over to the important part, channels, and we're blank here. Usually if you look through the manual somewhere, you will discover where it discusses channels and what each one does. Now, I think in the beginnings here somewhere they discuss channels and talk about it. And this particular light has 2 different modes. So it can operate in 11 channel mode or 6 channel mode. So depending upon what you set the light at, and there's probably some kind of a setting on the light itself, whether the light is going to operate in 6 channels or it's going to operate in 11 channels. But we have to start adding channels in here. So let's go ahead and do this. So you can see that channel 1 is a dimmer channel. So I'm going to say, okay, I want to add a channel. Now we don't have to type name or anything. We've got some shortcuts here. If you click on this, you go down and you can see some choices here. One of them is intensity dimmer, intensity master dimmer. We can just say, well, we could say intensity master dimmer for that. And it's come up intensity. And notice that it filled in a bunch of information, filled in the names as master dimmer. And we give it a value of 0 to 255, so we're talking DMX value there. And that filled that in and OK. So we have created our first channel. Second channel is going to be red intensity, so I click here. I go down, select, I do red intensity. And now the difference between intensity red and intensity fine, this is a 0 to 255. It's going to be 8-bit, so we're going to just do intensity red. And again, it fills it in 0 to 255, red intensity, fills in all the information. I click OK. I've got my red channel. So I'm going to do the same thing for my green channel. I'm going to say green intensity. I'm going to say OK, that's good. I'm going to say my blue intensity. Fill that in. Intensity blue. say OK. Now I've got my amber intensity coming up here, channel 5. So I'm going to select amber intensity from here. There's amber intensity and say OK. We've got that in. Then I've got my white intensity next on the next channel. Scroll down here, I'm going to select white intensity, add that, say OK. Then I'm going to do my ultraviolet intensity, going to add that intensity, ultraviolet, here we go, ultraviolet intensity, select that, and good. So we've kind of got all the LED colors in there, we're good. Now the next thing we go to is a channel 8 is a strobe channel. So I'm going to select here, and I'm going to say, let's scroll down, see if we can find strobe on here. And sure enough, there is strobe. Now we're going to take a notice here. The strobe channel says it strobes slow to fast. So I'm going to select that. Strobe, shutter, strobe, slow to fast. I'm going to select that one. And it's just 0 to 255. Select OK. So I do have that, and this is a shutter channel. The reason that it's different here, take a look at my video about HTP and LTP. So intensity channels are generally highest takes precedence, and channels like shutter and effects channels are usually latest takes precedence. And it has a difference as far as the way that it calls up the settings on the lights. Without getting into that too much, take a look at my video on HTP versus LTP, and I'll explain a little bit more of that. But I believe this is going to be set up basically to be an LTP channel, where the colors and the intensity are going to be HTP channels. All right, let's go on. So we have strobe. Now we have built-in programs. All right, so this one's going to be a custom. And so for the time being, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to say, give this a title of programs. And it's going to be custom. Over here, I'm going to select that this is an effect, because it's not a beam, it's not a color, it's not a gobo, it's not anything like that. It's not a prism, a shutter, a speed, or a tilt, or anything like that. So the thing that best describes it is an effect. And for the time being, I'm just going to leave this at 0 just to get the channel put in here, and just click OK. That's that channel. Then the next channel we're going to have is 10, and that is speed. Now we should have that as a selection. Let's see if we can scroll down here. Now we have some choices here. It says pan speed, tilt speed, pan speed, tilt speed. That's really not what we're talking about. We're talking about the speed of the program here. So again, I'm going to select custom, and I'm going to just put in here speed. So I have a reference. I'm going to go over to here, and I'm going to select speed from here. Again, just kind of an identifier. I'm not going to put any information here yet. Just click OK, just to get that channel in there. So we have our speed channel in. And then we have a channel 11, which is going to be 32-bit dimming, which is a higher, more selective level of dimming. It's like a fine dimming adjustment. But we'll add that in as a dimming channel. So again, we'll just call this one dimmer fine. That would be a good name for it there. And we're going to leave this one set like this, but we're going to be going in and going to be changing this a little bit later. If we look ahead in the manual, you'll see that there's a more definitive description of these channels and what they do. So for all the colors in that, it's just one setting, 0 to 255. But now we start to see here that we've got a number of different things going on. So this is our program channel. So I'm going to go back to program here, highlight it, click my edit pencil. Now, let me see if I can zoom in on this a little bit here, so we can see it a little bit better. Back here. All right, so from 000 to 009, I'm going to type this in, 000 to 009, we're going to have dimmer speed. And then from, notice this is convenient, so it picked up that the next, it goes from 009, so the next increment is going to be 010. but this is going to be 010 to 019, so I have to fix this. And this is going to be program run 1 red, green, blue, jump. So you don't have to don't write this out in really longhand. Try to keep it short and you'll see why. So I'm just going to type in RGB jump. So that's that. And then we have 20 to 29. So I'm going to go 029. And this one's going to be program 2. It's RGB fade in out. So I'll put RGB fade in / out. All right, and then you would proceed right down through here and fill in all these values till you have them all filled in. Now we go to speed. It's going to be just 0 to 255. So I'm going to fix this speed thing here. I'm going to go to edit and say it is 0 to 255 and just put a note in here that it is fade speed. Okay, and then save that. So we do have a value in there now. Now master dimmer fine, we can see that there's a number of divisions here. So we have to edit this. So I'm going to go in. All right, I'm going to do a bit of a fix here. Kind of made a little mistake. I did this as an intensity. We're going to get rid of this channel. Say yes. I'm going to put a new channel in and say custom. And it's going to be 32-bit dimmer. I'm going to give it a name. 32-bit dimmer. And we're going to say that this is an intensity channel. Okay. Now we're going to start filling in values here. So from 00 to 005 is as set. And then from 006 to 055 is going to be 8-bit 256 steps. And then from 056 to 105 is going to be 32-bit 0 to 25% intensity. So I'm just going to put 32-bit 0 to 25%. Again, we're trying to keep it a little bit smaller and you'll see why. So you continue and you would fill in all that information. All right, so we've got all of our channel information filled in here. And if you click on the arrows, it will open that up and show you if there are what kind of values are in there. So when we go to strobe, we only see those values. But if we go to programs, we can see we have a bunch of different values at different DMX settings. And if we look at speed, we just have one. But then we look at 32-bit dimming, we have a bunch more. Now, we have one more thing that we have to do here, and that is modes. If you remember from looking back at the beginning of the manual here, we have two different modes, an 11-channel mode and a 6-channel mode. So we're going to set up the two modes so those are available to us. So we're going to go to the Modes tab, and we're going to add one mode. I'm going to call this 11-channel. Just keep it short. And now we're going to add this, and this is very, very simple. It's all of the channels, all 11. I'm going to highlight all 11, click, and then hold your shift key, click, and then say transfer that over. So all 11 modes come in. It's very important that you do have them in the correct order, channel order, so they are the way they should be. Click OK. So now our 11 channel mode is in. If you need to move something around, like it's in the wrong spot, you can pick a channel. Like say for instance we accidentally had programming up here somewhere. It's in the wrong spot. You can highlight it and then move it down. So just make sure that, built-in program should be channel 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you can move channels around here if you need to. Click OK. So I've defined my 11 channel mode then. Those are the 11 channels and they're in the correct order. Now we're going to do 6 channels. So I'm going to call this 6 channel. Say we're going to add this. For this mode here, it's simply red, green, blue, amber, white, and UV. So I only need these guys. Move them over and click OK. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's my 6-channel mode. So I've defined everything. I save this. And it's going to be saved. Now, I had done this like previous, but it'll come up with asking you to give it some kind of name where you're going to save it. And If you're doing this on your computer with the QLC installed, it will automatically save it to the correct directory. So it's going to save it to user QLC plus fixtures. It's for the user fixture files. And that's it. We're done. We've created the fixture. Now we can take a look at this. I'm going to open it up in QLC plus itself. All right, so I started QLC. We're just going to take a quick look at this. I'm going to go to my fixtures. I'm going to say I want to pick a new fixture here. You can put this wherever you want. I'm just going to leave it starting at 1. I called it Blizzard, so it should be alphabetical here. There's Blizzard. They did have Blizzard lighting already installed. I just called mine Blizzard, but there's the LB hex that we created, and you can see the 11 channels, and it does give you a mode choice here of 11 channels or 6 channels. So we'll leave the 11 channels and we'll say, okay, put that in. LB hex, it's DMX channels 1 through 11. If I take a quick look at the simple desk, all right, it comes up. Now, a shortcut here in the simple desk, if I click here, it only shows me the lights that I have patched. If I leave it this way, it's showing me all my DMX channels, and then it's showing me what's patched, but it's showing me all 512 DMX channels. If I click here, it's just going to be showing me what is patched. So currently we just have this one light patched. Now, where the choices come in and what you do with your fixture definition is helpful here. These are all intensity, so that's really not going to matter. And also strobe, slow to fast, that's really not going to matter. But here, since we defined all these now, you can go through and just choose these anywhere in here, and that will pick up that particular program for you. So now it makes sense as to what you're doing as far as why you went through the trouble of designating all those and what the values are. Speed channel doesn't have anything but that, but then here's our 32-bit dimming, and you have values in here that you can select from. It just makes it really fast, this click and select, to be able to select things and set things the way you want them. So there you go. You've got your fixture patched in and you're ready to go.